Hi everyone, it's Giselle with a message for today. Today I want to talk about a continuation from my last video. In my last video I said that I was being my authentic self more in places where I hid because of fear of being judged, or even worse, ridiculed or laughed at, because I don't find that this world is a very accepting place for people with abilities and gifts. And I mean, even the other day I was going into just a normal shop on the high street, and there were a bunch of young people there, students I think, and I was looking through the books that they have there, because they have some quirky books. That's where I got my All of You book from. And I had another look in there because I really like the rotation of their books, and yeah, they're quite quirky and they don't pop up on my Amazon recommendations usually, so that's what I enjoy. But there was tarot cards there and some astrology books, and this young boy went to pick up a tarot deck, and one of the girls that was in the group that was with him said, "Oh, are you a witch now?" And so he freaked out and put it back and said, "No." But it's so misunderstood and so ignorant, and it saddens me that people are so closed off and narrow-minded and have this weird stereotype for people that like to use, these tools to help them get a better understanding of themselves, or if they are intuitively gifted, they can help people with that. And this boy felt very intrigued and very curious that, he really wanted to explore that part of him, and he felt unable to. And it's a shame. So that's why I've always felt that I couldn't be myself in work specifically. Certainly not when I had my old manager, the one that you may have remembered I had to confront at one point. Now she's trying to be nice to me, so I guess, things have changed. But with my new manager, he's very open. And so the other day I gave him an energy reading, which he couldn't quite grasp. He said, "Don't you need tools like tarot cards or something to view me?" I said, "No, all I need is your energy, and you have that, clearly. You haven't left it at home. So I'll just sit here. If you give me permission, I will step into it and see what I can feel and sense and see and hear." And he said, "Okay, do it." And he got a bit spooked at the end. He went, "It's a bit creepy, isn't it? You can just feel these things." I said, "Yeah." So anyway, the day after, he overheard some of my colleagues who said that they were going to see a lady to have a reading. And he said, "Well, hold on, Giselle can do that for you, because she did that for me yesterday." And they were all really surprised and just looked at me like, "Oh, really? You can do that?" I said, "Yeah, well, not right here, because the office is a massive open plan building. And because we're all so compacted in one area, I do get overstimulated with everyone's energy. That's why I tune it out, and that's why I don't do what I do when I'm in work. And that's why when you text me in work, I basically leave my phone at home, because I'm not able to help you when I'm overstimulated with others' energies. That's why I like working in a serene, peaceful, quiet environment in my own house, because that's where I am most able to be optimum and, use my gifts." But yeah, when we were in this crowded place, it was very hard to do a reading. And she got freaked out anyway. She said, "Okay, do it. No, don't do it. Yeah, do it. No, don't do it." I thought, my goodness, just make up your mind. She said, "Maybe not." I said, "Okay, well, don't worry about it." But then as the day progressed, she kept asking me questions about life after death, and do we stay with our families and our soul families, and what do I know from experience from having been a medium from a young age? How do I know things that happen beyond when we pass on, things like that? So I gave her a brief overview of what I know, but of course it's very surface level, it's certainly not in depth. My friend, who I'm very close to, actually described it so beautifully. She said that I'm able to look into their soul and help them from a soul level to heal and grow. And I thought that that's such a beautiful way of her describing me, that, and I'm so happy and grateful that she experiences me in that way too. But I'm shocked a little bit, because the very same day that, oh no, it was the day before, that this lady became very open and intrigued by my gift, I was only in the other, in the shop in town, where that boy got ridiculed for wanting to know more about spirituality and picking up a deck. So it was very challenging for me to to come out like that as well towards my manager and give him a reading. I would have never done that before, but something in me is telling me to let myself out, to let my true self shine. And I feel the reason why I'm being drawn to share this with you is because it's a message for you. Let your true self shine. The world needs you to be you. I've noticed that when I repress and suppress my gifts and myself, the world feels a very closed off place. And I had to in the past, because it was a defense mechanism, because people weren't ready. They weren't open. My last long-term relationship wasn't open. Ironically, now that we've broken up, more than half a decade later, he has become open and actually does ask me for help and readings even, which is surprising. But, people just weren't ready before, and I think I just held on to that, thinking, well, things are never going to change. I'll always have to be in the shadows and always have to do this in secret. But really, the reason why we're here is to reset old beliefs, is to reclaim our power and therefore empower others, and to shine our love, our light, our gifts upon the world. Many people that I'm working with too have discovered that they have certain gifts. Of course, we don't always have the same gifts, just as we're not all talented in the same ways. Like some people can draw, some people can sing, some people can cook. We all have different talents, different gifts, but they're all for one purpose, and that's to help the world to shine in the true light that it was intended, the light of true love, the light of divine love. I've even gotten to the point where I told my best friend about my twin flame journey. I don't feel she fully grasps it yet, but part of her resonates with it and thinks it's the most beautiful love story and journey. And she believes that I will be reunited fully in the physical, which I believe too. And I even came out, it sounds so funny, doesn't it? Told my sister about my twin flame journey too, because before I would try to teach her about love and things like that, and divine love, but never that I was a twin flame. But I've been guided to tell certain people closest to me, because I feel it's time. I feel the world needs to know, and I feel we are ready to reunite as one, collectively, as well as the twin flame couples who feel they've come here to unite and show themselves to the world. Times have changed. No longer will I need to hide who I am or have conversations in secret. Like in work, whenever I wanted to discuss anything, spiritual with my friend, I'd have to whisper or say it very, very quietly or in code almost, very cryptic. But now I can just openly speak, and people will either understand, oh, she's talking about her stuff, or just ignore it if they're not open to it. But it's not something that I have to hide or keep hidden, you know. As me, as a person, I can be spiritual, I can be open, I can be me. And also, that's one of the things I said in my previous video too that freaked me out about my twin flame was, what if he doesn't like that I'm spiritual? Or what if he doesn't like that I'm a medium, that I have these gifts and that I'm able to read energy and sense people? But then I thought, no, he wouldn't be my twin flame if he didn't like those things about me. And yes, this journey's freaked him out because I know they've activated things within him. He has gifts. As I said, you know, when things started falling apart for us, he let me feel him telepathically. I felt his anxiety. I felt his sadness. An hour before he actually contacted me to say goodbye, I felt all that. You know, someone without gifts wouldn't be able to give me that so strongly. And then after everything happened, he came to me in my dreams, consciously giving me messages. Someone without gifts, I don't feel would be able to do that. And of course, there's the signs from the universe that I've never had with anyone before. I once had a false twin and I forced signs to come through, but you can tell when the signs are forced versus for when the signs are spontaneous and flowing. And with him, everything just flows. I know he has gifts. He must have gifts because he has connected with me spiritually, not just since we met, but throughout my life. I remember being 5 years old and feeling him, 3 years old and feeling him. I remember just feeling him all the time, even before we met years ago, when I was in my late 20s making a wish in a well. His energy was with me, and we weren't going to meet yet for another, 4 years? And already was I able to feel his presence, to feel his love. And someone who isn't gifted, I don't feel would be able to do that, you know? So I do feel that we both have gifts. It's just taken him a while to accept and understand his. And yes, it freaked him out a bit. I mean, I guess it would with anyone. It was much easier for me to accept and understand because I was born this way and I never knew any other life. But to be a medium, but I know for people who may not be, it's scary. It's a scary experience to have to change everything and change your way of life. But it's a beautiful journey and a rewarding one despite the trials and tribulations. But my message to you is, if you feel so inclined, shine yourself out to the world. Allow everyone to experience your beauty, your divinity, as it was intended to be experienced. Don't keep yourself small or hide away. Eventually, we'll all have to do this as light bearers. We have to shine our light at some point. My time is now. Your time may be now, or your time may be later on. But whenever your time comes, do it wholeheartedly, and the world will embrace you. So if you wanted to book a reading with me, healing, channeled letter, coaching session, or any of my other services, all my details are in the description, and I am still offering 33% off, so 3 for 2 for the entire month of Feb. So you still have, I think it's the final week, or just about, isn't it, until the 29th. Or there's a double package, buy 2 packages, so 6 sessions for the price of 4 plus 1 free. So you're getting about 40% off there. So you're getting 7 sessions for the price of 4 if you're interested. All the details are in the description. Thank you all so very, very much for watching. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.